Good morning, students. In the last lecture of the operating system, we were discussed about the different scheduling algorithms. We know that the CPU scheduling deals with the problem of deciding which of the processes in the ready queue is allocated to the CPU for the execution. And there are many different types of scheduling algorithm. In the last lecture we discussed about the FCFS algorithm, then shortest job first algorithm, then round robin algorithm, and last we were seeing the priority scheduling. Now in this lecture we will start our next two scheduling algorithms, that are multi-level queue scheduling and multi-level feedback scheduling. These are the another two scheduling algorithms present in the operating system. First we will see our first algorithm is the multi-level queue scheduling algorithms. As the name suggests, multi-level queue scheduling. That means there are multiple levels are present in this type of scheduling, and in this type of scheduling the different levels are arranged in a queue, and that queue is scheduled as per the decided order. The queue is executed. Another class of scheduling algorithms has been created for situations in which processes are easily classified into different groups. This figure shows the representation of multi-level queue scheduling. The multi-level queue scheduling is one of the type of scheduling algorithm that has been created for a particular situation in which we can easily divide the number of processes into a different groups or into a different categories. That means, in short, in this type of algorithm, the number of processes are grouped into different categories. For example, a common division is made between a foreground, that means interactive processes, and background means batch processes. Here the number of processes are mainly categorized into two types. First type is the foreground processes, that means interactive processes, and second type is the background processes, that means a batch processes. These two types of processes have different response time requirements and so may have different scheduling needs. These two types of classification have different response time requirements. That means the interactive processes having a different response time requirement, or there may be different scheduling needs, or in a background, that means a batch processes may need some different scheduling requirements. So here I said that these two types of processes have been different response time requirements, as well as so may they have different scheduling needs. In addition, a foreground process may have priority, that means priority are externally defined over the background processes. Here the foreground processes have a priority over the background processes. A multi-level queue scheduling algorithm partitions the ready queue into several separate queues. Here in a multi-level queue scheduling, a ready queue is divided into several separate queues. For example, here the ready queue is divided into different types, like the student processes are stored here, the batch processes are again classified into batch processes type, then next interactive editing process, processes are grouped together. Next, interactive processes are again grouped together, and there are different, if there are some system processes, then that system processes are stored separately in the ready queue. So here is the statement: in the multi-level queue scheduling algorithm, the partitions the ready queue into several separate queue. Here the ready queue, where all the processes are stored, that ready queue is divided into several separate subqueues. The processes are permanently assigned to one queue, then generally based on some priority of the processes. That priority include the memory size, that means the total size required for the execution of a particular process into the memory, then process priority or the process type. According to these parameters, the processes are permanently assigned to any one of the queue into the ready queue. Each queue has its own scheduling algorithm. Then each queue defines its own scheduling algorithm. That means the student processes defines a separate scheduling requirements. The batch processes defines the different scheduling algorithm. The interactive editing processes can define any other scheduling algorithm. That means the processes or the queue has its own scheduling algorithm. Let's look at the example of multi-level queue scheduling algorithm with 5 queues. Consider the example. In this example, there are 5 queues, and that queues are listed according to the priority. The highest priority queue is the system processes, then interactive processes, then interactive editing processes, next batch processes, next student processes. These are the 5 queues are arranged into the multi-level queue scheduling in a particular manner. According to the priority of the processes, these queues are arranged one by one. That means, in short, in a multi-level queue scheduling, here we schedule the different queues that are arranged into a multiple levels. That queues scheduling is done here. This is a multi-level queue scheduling. And in a multi-level queue scheduling, each queue defines its own scheduling algorithm. Here, each queue has absolute priority over lowest priority queues. That means no process in a batch queue, for example, could run unless the queues of system processes. Here in this example, here no processes of the batch processes or a batch queue could run unless the queues of the system processes will executed, because the system processes having the highest priority than the batch processes. So here state that no processes in a batch queue could run unless the queues of the system processes, interactive processes, interactive editing processes were all empty, because these 3 queues having a highest priority than the batch processes. That means until the system processes, interactive processes and interactive editing processes queues were empty, the batch processes could not run. After only completion of system processes, interactive processes and interactive editing processes execution is completed, then only the control is transferred to the batch queue. If an interactive and editing processes entered the ready queue while a batch processes was running, the batch processes would be preempted. Another possibility is to time slice among the queues. Here each queue gets a certain portion of CPU time, then which it can be then scheduled among its various processes. For example, the foreground background queue example, the foreground queue can be given 80% of the CPU for round robin scheduling among its processes, whereas the background queue receives only 20% of the CPU to give to its processes on a FCFS basis. This is the multi-level queue scheduling. Then next type of the scheduling is multi-level feedback queue scheduling. Normally when the multi-level queue scheduling algorithm is used, then the processes are permanently assigned to a queue when they are enter the system. But if there are separate queues for foreground and background processes, for example, process do not move from one queue to another queue since processes do not change their foreground and background nature. This setup has the advantage of the low scheduling overhead, but it is inflexible. So, the multi-level queue scheduling algorithm in contrast allows a processes to move between the queue. We were seeing that in a multi-level queue scheduling, if a particular process is entering into a one queue, then at that time the process is permanently assigned to that particular queue. This is the drawback of the multi-level queue scheduling. But in the case of multi-level feedback scheduling, it allows a process to move between the different queues, and the process are separate with the different CPU burst time. Here the CPU burst time, that means CPU utilization period, is allocated to a separately for a process. This is a multi-level feedback queue scheduling. But if a process uses too much CPU time, then it will be moved to the lowest priority queue. But in some condition, if any process uses a long CPU time, then it will be moved to next process, that means next lowest priority queue. This idea leaves input-output bound and interactive processes in the higher priority queue. Similarly, the processes which waits too long in a lower priority queue may be moved to a higher priority queue. These form a aging prevents a starvation problem. This is we called as aging. That means if any process is waiting for long period, then a lower priority queue is moved to a higher priority queue. Here priority is added to the lower priority process in a particular time period. Then the lower priority processes, after adding the priority to that lower priority processes, the lower priority process becomes a higher priority. Then at that time the process is executed. So there is an concept of aging. That means, in short, aging means what? Here we increasing the priority of a process. That means in some condition, if a lower priority process is waiting for long time, it is waiting for too much long time, then at that time the process priority is increased to the higher priority. That means here lower priority queue is moved to the higher priority queue. So, and this concept we called as an aging, because in the aging concept we are increasing the priority of the process. In real life, age defines the lifetime. Age becomes increases in a particular time unit. So same way in a aging concept, here we can increase the priority of the process. The multi-level feedback queue scheduler has the following parameters. There are some parameters that are required for the multi-level feedback queue scheduler. For example, the number of queues in the system, the scheduling algorithm for each queue in the system, the method used to determine when the process is upgraded to the higher priority queue, then the method used to determine when to demote a queue to a lower priority queue. Then next, the method used to determine which process will enter in a queue and when the process needs a service. These are the some parameters that are used for defining a multi-level feedback queue scheduler. For example, consider a multi-level feedback queue scheduler with 3 queues numbered 0, 1 and 2. The scheduler first executes all the processes in a queue 0. Here the scheduler first executes the processes from a queue 0. Only when Q0 is empty, it will execute the process in a Q1. After execution of the the processes present in Q0 will be executed. After that, the CPU is allocated to the next queue. That means first queue. Similarly, the processes in a Q2 will only be executed if queues 0 and 1 are empty. The processes or the Q3 is only executed after the successful execution of Q0 and Q1. A process in a Q1 will in turn be preempted by a process arriving for a Q0. A process entering the ready queue is put in a Q0. A process in a Q0 is given a time quantum of 8 milliseconds. If it does not finish within this time, it is moved to the tail of the Q1. So here feedback is passed to the next queue. So its name is multi-level feedback queue scheduling. If it does not finish within this time, then it is moved to the tail of the Q1. If Q0 is empty, then the processes at the head of a Q1 is given to the quantum of 16 milliseconds. And if it does not complete, then it is preempted and it's put into Q2. The processes in Q2 are run on a FCFS basis but are run only when Q0 and Q1 are empty. The Q2 is only executed after the execution or after the empty of Q0 and Q1. After the successful completion of Q0 and Q1, only the CPU is allocated to the Q0. This scheduling algorithm gives highest priority to any process with a CPU burst of 8 milliseconds or less. Then such a process will quickly get the CPU, finish its CPU burst and go off to its next IO burst. That means the processes that need more than 8 but less than 24 milliseconds are also served quickly through with lower priority than the shorter processes. The longer processes or the long processes automatically sync to Q2 and are served in a FCFS order with any CPU cycles left over the Q0 and Q1. For example, in this case, the shortest processes are, that means the processes which required 8 or less than 8 millisecond time, that processes are queued into a quantum 8 queue, that means 0 queue. These processes are executed quickly because it requires a shorter CPU burst. The processes which required a 16 millisecond or less than 16 millisecond, then that processes are arranged into a Q1. And the processes which required the longer CPU burst time, then at that time that processes are grouped into a Q2. That means in this queue the FCFS algorithm is used. This is the multi-level feedback queue scheduling. In today's lecture, we were seeing that the multi-level queue scheduling and multi-level feedback queue scheduling. In multi-level queue scheduling, the name itself says that there are multiple levels are present. For example, in our example, we were seeing that there are total 5 levels, that means system processes, interactive editing processes, then batch processes, and at last there is an student processes. And according to the classification of background and foreground processes, the processes are arranged into a different levels, and each queue uses its own defined algorithm. Each queue can implements its own algorithm. This is an multi-level queue scheduling. Okay, thank you.